How's it going, everyone? It's MD here, and today I'm here to discuss about the new Kirby and Forgotten Land game and what this game means for the future for the Kirby series. So we had the September Direct a month ago, and it had a lot of exciting announcements. One of them being a new Kirby game. Not just any new Kirby game, but a 3D Kirby game. And honestly, it looks amazing and really exciting. Kirby finally making the jump to 3D is huge because Kirby has always been stuck as a 2D side-scroller for so long. And Kirby has had so many games in 2D, with some being wacky and quirky and all that. This isn't bad or anything, but eventually it got kind of stale with Kirby in 2D at least. Even with some quirky gimmicks added, it just felt like the same Kirby. The 2D Kirby games aren't bad or anything. I love Kirby a lot. I love the games. In fact, there are a lot of amazing games like Epic Yarn, Robo Blast, Superstar Saga, and many more. The last mainline Kirby game was Kirby Star Allies, and while it's a fun game, it wasn't very ambitious compared with its predecessors, and at that point is where it felt the Kirby in 2D was getting stale, and it was time for a fresh take and a new direction for the Kirby series. And here we are, finally seeing something new and different for Kirby. A 3D Kirby finally happening is kind of a dream come true for so many, including myself. But while exciting as it is to see a new 3D Kirby platformer come true, it got me thinking, what does this game mean for the Kirby series? With Kirby finally making the jump to 3D in the new Forgotten Land, will we see Kirby permanently in 3D in future titles? Or will we still see 2D side-scroller Kirby? Or maybe both? Honestly, we don't know at this point, and I may be getting ahead of myself, but like I said, this is a huge step for Kirby. This is the first fully 3D Kirby game ever. Yes, we had like Kirby Blob Blast and Kirby Air Ride, but you can do so much in a 3D environment compared to a 2D environment. In 3D, I think you have a lot more possibilities, more versatility, freedom, and just overall many options. And having Kirby controllable in a 3D space is exciting because of the ideas and options they can explore with Kirby. With 2D, I personally think you can go as far as you can. Like you have this limit to what you can do in a 2D environment. But regardless of the ideas Nintendo had that they could have done with 2D Kirby, making that transition to 3D was the right step, and probably a much needed step. This honestly feels like a new chapter for Kirby. Essentially, it's just translating the fundamentals and main mechanics of Kirby in 3D. So it's basically taking Kirby's Adventure and just taking the whole mechanics of all that game and translating it into 3D. And just like Kirby's Adventure, we saw more entries expanding on the formula. Seeing those new wacky gimmicks and ideas presented, and every quirky little thing Nintendo have tried with the Kirby series. And now there can be so many ridiculous ideas Nintendo can do. I mean, for starters, they can have an open sandbox Kirby game, which is what Kirby and the Forgotten Land could be. You can make a collectathon, RPG, or heck, maybe even have a multiplayer game. These are just a few ideas, but I'm not even scratching the surface. Again, Kirby is, at best of being all quirky and all that. You can have a 3D Epic Yarn, 3D Clay Kirby, Robo Blast. I mean, not that it's gonna happen, but the main thing is now there's a lot of opportunities for Nintendo to go with 3D Kirby. The sky is the limit. So with that being said, with the seamless possibilities and ideas for Nintendo to explore with Kirby, with the Kirby series in 3D, Will Kirby remain in 3D? At least for the mainline games? Obviously, we do get Kirby spin-offs like Kirby's Clash or Kirby Fighters. Those games are 2D, so of course we could still get more 2D Kirby games. But for the mainline series at least, will we still get 2D Kirby games, or is it now mostly focused on 3D? Maybe it could be both. Make 2D Kirby games and 3D Kirby games, just like how we have 2D Mario and 3D Mario. Maybe that all doesn't matter. But you know, it would be interesting to see what Nintendo does with the Kirby series after Kirby and the Forgotten Land. And who knows, maybe depending on how Forgotten Land goes, like commercial sales and the reception of the game, maybe this could factor to the decision of Nintendo continuing to make more 3D Kirby. But one thing for sure, the Kirby devs are always thinking on what they want to do with Kirby. And I'm sure depending on how Kirby the Forgotten Land goes, they may have more ideas for more 3D Kirby they want to try out, and possibly this could lead them to investing more time in exploring new ideas with 3D Kirby. Just like Nintendo always exploring new ideas for the 3D Mario and 3D Zelda. I can possibly see that happening with the Kirby team, now only focused on 3D titles for Kirby, because, you know, let's just face it, it's probably the future for the series, and you know, maybe probably should be a standard going forward. We don't get any other 3D platformers other than Mario, so it would be nice to finally have, you know, another 3D platformer from a different Nintendo franchise. However, with that said, for 3D Kirby, I don't think this is the end for 2D Kirby, for mainline at least. I think we will still get more 2D Kirby games, but maybe what they'll do is have a different / separate team work on them. You know, they can have the main Kirby team that will focus on making 3D Kirby, and then there could be another team, you know, separate team or sub team, whatever, focused on making 2D Kirby. Much like with Mario, you know, there's a 3D Mario team focused on making the 3D Mario games, and then a 2D Mario team focused on making, you know, the 2D Mario games. You know, this is plausible. I mean, if Nintendo plans on expanding the Kirby franchise to become bigger and just, you know, investing more into the IP. And another reason why we could still get more 2D Kirby games is because, you know, it takes less time to make a 2D game compared to a 3D game, and it's cheaper. So, you know, thinking development wise, there have been rumors, I guess, that Kirby and the Forgotten Land took nearly 4 years of development to make. You know, we don't know, like, could be true. It would be like nearly 4 years when the game like releases. So yeah, you know, that makes sense. We know 3D games do take more development time, and if Nintendo wanted to make more 3D Kirby games, it would be a long wait. Let's say another 4 to 5 years. You know, it is quite a gap. But in between, you know, we could have, you know, a 2D Kirby game to hold us off till the next 3D Kirby game. Who knows what the future is for the Kirby series would be now that we have a 3D Kirby. Only time will tell, but I do hope we see more 3D Kirby games after Forgotten Land. Or hey, you know, maybe both. You know, let's have 2D and 3D Kirby games. But what do you think the future for the Kirby series now that we have a 3D Kirby finally coming? Do you think we will get more Kirby games? Will we still get 2D mainline Kirby games? Maybe both? Or do you think Kirby and the Forgotten Land is just a one-time experiment and Nintendo goes back to making 2D Kirby side-scrollers? Let me know in the comments below. So we have reached the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, leave a like and subscribe for more content on the channel. This is MD. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.